What is going on, everyone? My name is Stale, and the past few days have been very big days for the Call of Duty community, both multiplayer and zombies. For those of you who didn't know or are living underneath a rock, the Black Ops 4 reveal event was only a few days ago and they revealed a lot. They announced that there would be no campaign, they announced the new Battle Royale mode, aka Blackout, and how huge that's going to be. But they also talked about zombies, and this zombies section hosted by Jason Blundell and Craig Houston was huge. So today I'm simply just going to talk about a few key points. I don't have a script for this video, I'm not the type of person that makes scripts. I've simply just got a few things written down on my notepads on my computer that I want to eventually talk about today. So the first thing I want to talk about is the very first map that they announced, which was 9, or as it's actually written, IX, in Roman numerals. And when I first saw this trailer, it put me off a little bit because the animation style in the cutscene that they showed was slightly different to what they had done in the past. But after watching it multiple times, it very quickly became one of my favorite cutscenes in all of Call of Duty Zombies. Now the villain in this seems to be some sort of cult leader from the Greek mythology, who is trying to deter our nation for the amusement of others around him. And it seems that our 4 new characters, who I unfortunately don't know the names of right now, I don't have them written down, I couldn't find them, are somehow thrown into this situation through some sort of time travel or something along those lines. I'm a really big fan of the location that they have chosen. It seems to be some sort of Greek Roman Empire, similar to Gladiator. It seems to be a brilliant location for a zombies map. Due to this map, it's making me think that Egypt is not going to happen in the sense of the pyramids and something along those lines. I know that was rumored for a DLC 4 for not only Black Ops 3, but now also Black Ops 4. I'm beginning to believe that's not going to happen because of this art choice in this very particular map. Now before I begin talking about the second map announced at this event, I want to quickly talk about the new customization added to this game that Jason Blundell spoke upon before revealing the second map on disc. Now the customization that he mentioned was the fact that it's basically going to be mod tools. We can change how fast the zombies run, how the box works, how training works, and a lot of other things along those lines. They also announced something called bot play, which I assume they're adding this so that solo players can complete Easter eggs that are 4-player based, which is obviously going to happen. I predicted this to begin with. Treyarch seemed to have a little bit of a fetish towards having 4-player Easter eggs. I personally don't mind. I tend to hunt for these Easter eggs with 4 people anyways, so it works out pretty darn well for me. They also announced a new mode called Zombie Rush. They didn't mention anything other than it's going to simplify the current zombies mode, and it's going to be good for new players and as well as old. So that is also really interesting. Jason Blundell also mentioned that the difficulty change ability is returning to this game, and there's also something called zombies badges or stickers or something. I don't remember exactly what it was called. I'll have it on screen right now, the exact name, but essentially this is so that you can show your friends and obviously third-party leaderboards what you have done and what type of customization settings you had, so that cheaters can't use these customization settings to get to around 100 and then claim they did it without. This is just a verification method so that leaderboards aren't broken. Alright, let's move on to the second map announced at this event, called Voyager of Despair. Now this map came out of nowhere. I didn't think this would happen. I thought they had announced their brand new map with their new characters, and then they'd announce Mob of the Dead Remastered. But instead they came at us with Voyager of Despair, which pretty comically it takes place on the Titanic, which for those of you who don't know is a very famous cruise ship that crashed into an iceberg. It is basically a tragedy. Now the characters actually spoke in this cutscene. They didn't really speak in the previous one, which sort of bothered me at first, but now again, as I said before, I love it. But their dialogue seems to be organic, they seem to get along well together. It seems like a group of characters that I'm going to enjoy playing throughout the entire DLC season, so the characters I'm one for. Now the location on a cruise ship, That's an amazing location in my opinion. It's nice, it's fancy, sort of gave me Shadows of Evil vibes, but that's okay because that's one of my favorite maps of all time. I'm really liking this map a lot. Now there's a lot of talk about how the Easter egg hunting is going to work with this map, as well as the first one, as well as the Mob of the Dead remastered. How is the hunting going to work, and how is the storyline going to work? I believe Voyager of Despair is a prequel to 9, in the sense at the end of Voyager of Despair there's going to be some sort of cutscene that somehow leads us to 9, and I believe Mob of the Dead is going to have its separate storyline that I'm going to get on a little bit later in this video. Alright, now time to talk about the big reveal at this event, for the zombies community anyways, which is the reveal of Mob of the Dead Remastered, aka Blood of the Dead. Now we all knew this was coming, we knew this from Zombies Chronicles, certain things that that Jason Blundell said, my apologies, to, I believe it was JC, or maybe Reed, I don't remember exactly who he mentioned it to, but he basically said that they've got more plans for Mob of the Dead, and this was the plan they were talking about. Now let's quickly talk about this trailer before we get onto the storyline and what could possibly happen with the rest of these DLCs. This trailer is absolutely amazing. It gave me goosebumps, it brought me back to that original cinematic trailer they revealed, Where Are We Going? That song when it started playing gave me goosebumps, the nostalgia. Because for those of you who don't know, Mob of the Dead is my favorite zombies map of all time, hands down. So this is a massive thing for me, to see Mob of the Dead not only remade, but also renamed, and having Primus as the crew. Speaking of Primus as the crew, what storyline implications could this have? Because whilst we did predict that Mob of the Dead was coming, everyone essentially predicted that Victus would be the crew. We never predicted, not once, that Primus would be the crew. So what I believe is happening here is essentially Treyarch are filling in that blank that occurred between Zetsubo no Shima and Gorod Krovi. For those of you who aren't sure what blank I'm talking about, at the end of the Zetsubo no Shima cutscene, they teleport somewhere and they come back and all the characters have blood vials. Now in the comics and the Chronicles poster, it is revealed that they teleported to Mob of the Dead, which is what I believe is occurring here. Blood of the Dead hints towards this as well. This is where they're going to collect the blood. We might even see Victus. The storyline and the Easter egg may revolve around Victus and the blood vials and essentially Victus's blood. However, there is one thorn in the theory that I just mentioned, and that is if you look closely in this cutscene, it appears Richtofen's blood vials are empty. So what does this mean? This introduces the other theory that is mentioned by the community, which is this is post-Revelations, post-everything. This is what occurs. This is a continuation on the storyline that was left off at the end of Black Ops 4. The blood vials are empty. They're back at Mob of the Dead. Why are they here? Which is my problem with the theory. There's more reasoning for them to be here with my other theory, but we don't know. We're just going to have to wait. Regardless of which theory it is, I still have a strong opinion on the fact that each DLC is going to have 2 maps. The first map is going to follow this new storyline with our new characters. We're going to get enthralled in their personalities and the world that they are in and the situation that they are in. And as an insurance policy in case we don't like that, I believe the second map is going to revolve around Primus, Mob of the Dead, the Blood Vials, Monty, everything we were introduced to in the past decade of zombies, because they can't just leave it off like that. So I believe there's going to be 2 maps per DLC, one about the new story, one about the old, and maybe even an epic conclusion in DLC 4 with a culmination of both of the storylines somehow colliding in an epic final map. That's hopefully not Revelations, that's not what I mean by colliding. I mean the characters, the crews, and the storyline head to head colliding in some sort of fashion. Either way, I still stick with that theory that we're going to be getting 2 maps per DLC. So that's basically it for the zombie side of this reveal event. Craig or Jason may have mentioned other little things that I haven't spoken about, but this was all of the main points, essentially. In conclusion, I am all for what they are doing with this new storyline and new characters, and I am absolutely in love with the fact that they are bringing Mob of the Dead back. I still stick with all my theories that I mentioned in this video, and it seems like it's going to be an absolutely, once again, brilliant DLC season from Treyarch. So thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy this video, please leave a like and comment what you think about this reveal event. Comment your theories and your opinions, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more. Thank you for watching.